I'm a bit conscious now, but whatever.
I'm already reading it along with you. I'm saying it along with you.
I know.
Everyone is.
Oh, God.
Before now, mysteries had never been discussed or uncovered. But now, Contumacious Ant and Atreya are back for a second season. The MO Podcast.
Hello and welcome all into the MO Podcast. You're here with me, Contumacious Ant.
I could hear you laughing then. You were silent laughing.
I'm trying not to. I'm really trying not to. Don't want to spoil it for our listeners.
Because they wanted to do it. They wanted to say, hello and welcome all into the MO Podcast. You're here with me, Contumacious Ant, and my lovely co-host, as always, Atreya.
Yeah, hello, welcome. Today we are discussing conspiracy theories. And last week we said I was going to do Hollow Earth, and Atreya left you all on a cliffhanger. And she hasn't ruined it yet by saying what she's going to do. So what are you going to do?
I am going to do the mysterious deaths of Bruce and Brandon Lee.
Oh, yes. Did we talk about this afterwards?
We did.
Oh, right, that's all right then, because I thought I may have just, fucked that up.
No, we did talk about it. It just dawned on me, after I stopped recording. I was like, ooh. You know when you get a light bulb moment? It was that.
Yeah, and Lord knows you don't have many.
I don't, especially when it comes to mermaids.
I will press stop recording right now and just walk out. I swear.
It's fine.
Just for anyone out there who's remotely interested in this ramble, and a rant, to be honest with you, because it is going to turn into a rant. Don't watch the stuff about mermaids on Discovery Plus, because it is just hokum, for want of a better word, and I apologise for using such language, but hokum is what it is.
It's not real, and it's not just us going, mermaids aren't real, because they just aren't. It's a docu-fiction. Don't be fooled into thinking it's a documentary, like some fools.
Yeah, and then they go, everyone watch this. Start texting people to watch it.
Oh, it was just you.
Waste other people's time.
It was just you, okay? And I figured if I had to be pained, so did you. Although I didn't realise it at the time, not until about 4 hours later.
That's the way it works now, is it? Okay.
To be fair, I was putting off admitting that it was fake. I was like, I should probably message Ant and tell him he doesn't need to watch that mermaid thing anymore because it's fake. But I've already plugged it now that it's real, and I've already been like, oh my god, see, I told you maybe some fish didn't want to walk, and now he's going to laugh at me and say that he was right and that my tinfoil hat is obscuring my vision. But I just left it a few hours.
Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't rage. Well, I did, but internally.
Well,
but anyway,
just Google it next time.
Anything you send me, I'm going to Google. I'm going to fact check.
Just delete it.
Oh,
just delete the message.
One source Atreya. Yeah, it's all true. Bob at the pub told me it's got to be.
Okay, well,
mechanic with 3 teeth.
Do you have more than one source for your Hollow Earth theory?
I have the only source.
So one source.
I think.
One source, Ant.
You can take it with her then. There are several sources, and one of them is science. So I think that trumps everything. Yes, it is.
All right. See if you can up my percentage then.
Right, yeah, okay. So, first and foremost, we have to say Poppy Pops for some reason. Do you have to say it as well?
I have to say what? Poppy Pops?
There you go. Apparently, that's someone's favourite word for an English person to say at the minute. So, I meant to say it last time, but completely forgot.
Okay. Poppy Pops.
Yeah, so Poppy Pops, yeah. So, I'm really going to edit this beginning. But anyway, Hollow Earth. So, since forever, people have believed that the Earth is hollow and there's something down there. I mean, you've got the ancient civilizations like Greeks. They believed that the entrance was Hades, and there was an entrance to Hades, and that was underground. I mean, you've got Celtic mythology, which has the Cruachan Cave, which is Ireland's gateway to hell. The Nordic mythology, I'm going to butcher, I'm going to never live this down, Jesus, has Svartalfhelm, which is home of the... oh, here we go. God, why did I choose this?
You do it every week, man.
I know I do. Just try to get a rise, and I get shouted at more than it works. Backfires. And that is home of the Mirkafal, which are dusky and murky elves. I'm going to get told they're not, but that's what my research led me to believe. And that's below ground as well, but it's also a different world. So I don't know how that works either. But yeah, anyway. But loads of mythologies and ancient civilizations have believed that there is something below ground, that there's a life, a whole other civilization living below ground. And I mean, especially with like religion and the Dark Ages and all that hell is down. If you go to heaven, you're going up, and then obviously the opposite, hell is down. And there's all these demons or whatever down below us. And to be honest with you, Edmund Halley, who is the person who's famous for the comet, was the first person in science to kind of postulate that the Earth was hollow and there was another Earth below the Earth kind of thing.
That's 'cause there is. Sorry. Continue.
And he and he thought it was kind of like a Russian nesting doll. You have Earth on top, and then you open it up, and then there's another Earth, and then you open that up, and there's another Earth, and then there's like a hollow core. And he postulated that there'd be luminescence in there, and there'd be some kind of light that would sustain life under there. And what's weird is he kind of based his theory off Isaac Newton's work, which is no.
What?
Yeah, so he based his theory off, because Newton used maths to determine the moon's density, and somehow Halley used these maths that he used, or these equations that he used, to think that the Earth was hollow.
And you always say I'm shit at parties.
I'm the life and soul, man. You don't know my friends.
Till you start talking about the density of the moon via maths.
Oh, wait till I get on about how gravity disproves all this hokum. But yeah, so this was like in 1692, and he's going around going, yeah, there's people living under the earth. And I don't know how many people paid him attention, but 100 years go by, and then along came John Cleves Stymes Jr. And yeah, I mean, I've not rolled this one out for a while, but he was a right one, this lad. Oof. In 1818, he published Circular Number 1. Now, that sounds like, oh, wow, what's this Circular Number 1? And it's pretty much akin to, if you've seen The American Office, where Michael just walks in and declares bankruptcy. It was a pamphlet that has no real meaning about anything, but this is something that a lot of Hollow Earthers go, well, yeah, that's proof. So he published 500 of these pamphlets, and all it says is, I hereby declare that the Earth is hollow, and I'm going to go on a little expedition and prove this.
Right.
And that is literally all it is. He never actually went on this expedition to prove it.
Did he know where the entrance was?
Now, it's quite funny because there's two entrances, apparently, and they're located at the poles, and they're now called Stymes holes, which, take it how you want, but he got it named after him.
Good for him.
Yeah, but the thing is as well, with this pamphlet, he did 500 of them, and all his own cost, and he mailed them out to, like, governments, like local and state governments, colleges, philosophical societies, and he was trying to drum up money, really, for this expedition, to go on this expedition. But he attached a copy of a certificate that attested to his mental soundness. So that's how confident he was that people were going to go, weirdo, right, let's move on.
And he was right.
He went out of his way to get a certificate to say, nah, this guy isn't mad, but his viewpoints are.
I like that idea. It's a good idea.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think you should just PDF it and just attach it to everything you send out. To be honest, but
I was thinking about getting one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You need one. Yeah. When you send me, can watch this mermaid thing, I want to see a certificate of mental soundness.
I'll get one knocked up. Is there like a dodgy like mental soundness place? You know, you can get dodgy MOTs.
Yeah, probably. I mean, like, just go to, I don't know, like Dr. Bob.
Just make me own,
yeah.
couldn't I?
Well, probably, yeah. I mean, you can do anything with Photoshop nowadays, and then just go to local print shop and just get a load.
Go to Asda and get it printed off on like shiny paper and make it look legit.
Exactly. That's all you need to do. So,
sorted.
So I got my passport. I mean, no, MI5, I know you're listening, I've got a real one, promise. But yeah, anyway, so he was going to go on this journey if he raised enough money, and he expected to find a warm, rich land stocked with thrifty veg and animals, if not men.
Right.
But the thing is as well, he kind of toured doing lectures on this without going on this expedition. So all the evidence he had was that he thought the earth was hollow.
So
he never made any like mathematical equations. He never actually went on a journey. He never talked to people who had been in the centre of the earth. He just went, you know what would be funny? If I go around telling people the earth's hollow. And they paid me for it.
That is clearly what he did.
Yeah. And fair play to him, to be quite honest with you, because he spent the rest of his time doing the lecture circuit, and he had like a little society that was born up after him.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he also did name his son Americus. So
what?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not that. For someone who thinks the Earth is hollow, you'd think they'd have more imagination than
one would think.
Americus, maybe.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. And then we move on another 100 years, and in 1908. Another much-cited source was written, which is The Smoky God by Willis George Emerson. Now, this claims to be the story of a man who actually went to the centre of the earth. He was a Norwegian sailor, and him and his dad went out one day in the boat, and they ended up in the centre of the earth.
Just rando.
And this was his story. Yeah, just went sailing one day and got lost, and then ended up surrounded by giants, apparently.
Okay. Presumably you have to go through the ocean, though, like down to get to Hollow Earth?
No, because the... noob.
Sorry.
The entrance is at the North Pole, so he's...
Yeah, but how do you get down?
He's Norwegian, so it's up where it's cold, isn't it? He may have took a left turn instead of a right turn and ended up near Greenland or something. I don't know. I've not read it, I'll be honest with you, because I had my researcher read this, and many thanks to Kat for reading this. Well, I know she hates me.
You shouldn't let him get away with being lazy, Kat.
I was going to read it. I did say I'd read it and feed it back, but she couldn't wait. So this is basically her research, so anything that's wrong, blame her.
Wow. That was low blow.
I'll give her email out soon. But basically, right. So this story is from what I'm not going to say we. I was going to say what we've ascertained, but from what Kat has ascertained this guy isn't Norwegian because obviously there's only 11 people in Norway and Teddy the dog, so you can keep a track on Norwegians quite easily. And after 1800, they started kind of keeping records on people. Not keeping records, but, you know, you had a birth certificate, a death certificate, you had stuff that was official that you had actually lived. And if you get a name and a date of birth, you can pretty much find people. And with a sensational story like this, then surely he would have told people about it, and it would have been reported somewhere. He didn't tell this story until he was over 80 years old. So he'd been in Norway, quote marks, in Norway, for 60 years. This happened to him when he was 24 years old. And he came out of Hollow Earth and then did his own fishing business or started his own company, sailoring or whatever they do. I don't know the correct terms. But
Sailoring.
And then he lived...
Love it.
Yeah. He lived in Norway for another 60 years, then moved to America when he was over 80, and then met this guy and told his story. He was over 100 when he died, so...
Maybe he didn't want people to laugh at him.
Maybe. But there's no trace of him in Norway. So that is a bit of a red flag there. The guy's name is Olaf Jansson. And
that's such a like stereotypical name as well, isn't it? It almost sounds made up.
Indeed, it is a little bit like maybe they changed his name to protect his identity, but maybe. I very much doubt it, because if it's a true life story, if it's an autobiography, let us say, then surely you'd want to keep all the facts so it is fact checkable, unless, let me think, it wasn't actually real, so no one could fact check it.
Or maybe he wanted to see how it would do before he went, actually, that Olaf bloke, that's actually me. I just didn't want everyone to have my real name, because if the book flopped or if the story flopped, then people would laugh at me. And this way, if they laughed, then it's not really a dent on me at the moment.
It could be, but, I mean, Kat's theory is that he probably thought that he was having a laugh. And I quote, "I told a land crab author this crazy story is something a Norwegian would do for fun."
Oh.
So she thinks he was just having a little joke with him. And because this author has never been to sea, he thought, watch this. This'll be funny, lads.
Well, if Kat says that that's how it would be, then that's how it would be. So I think you can write off that source.
Yeah. Indeed. I love the land crab author as well, which is a direct quote. There's other problems as well. The place when he got back from this journey and where he went to live is spelt incorrectly. It's spelled Lofoten, but it's actually Lofton. If he was truly Norse, there's like words in it that he believes in Thor and Odin, but then when he goes into the centre of the earth, he starts calling it the Garden of Eden, because when they're at sea, they're going through a storm, and they're talking about Thor will get us through this, or Odin will get us through this, or something like that, and then when they get into the centre of the earth, it's like, oh, the Garden of Eden, and it's like Christianity and Norse don't no. Yeah, there's something wrong there. And to be honest with you, the feedback I got from that was, what is this crap? Stick to one belief.
I would second that, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, the opinion that Kat says is that because he was an older sailor, he may have had some, not memory issues, but one story may have bled into another, and he may have been describing multiple sea journeys and not one, and land crab author, so why not have a laugh?
Love it.
Yeah, so that is one of their sources that they always go to, and Kat has pretty much debunked it, so sorry.
You heard it here first.
Exactly, yeah. my stunning researcher. So I'll be manipulating her again. Are you using her expertise again? I mean,
I was going to say, excuse me, that's my wife you're talking about.
I never would. I am just thankful that she did it, because I did this 2 weeks ago and she went, "Oh, it's done in 10 minutes."
She's too good to you.
I know.
Wasted.
I know. I bet she blocks me now. So this brings us on to the present day now, and there are people who believe this, and
yes, there are.
In the same way as they believe like flat earthers are out there, it's not as popular, and there is bones of contention. The flat earthers quote: "The flat earthers are obviously wrong. The world is a sphere, and it's hollow." I don't think flat earthers have a leg to stand on, but I respect their opinion, says Rodney Clough, who is the author of Our Living Hollow Earth.
He doesn't respect their opinion at all. He thinks they're all absolute cracks.
Yeah, and he's right. Now, Rodney Clough wrote a book, Our Living Hollow Earth, and again, a little bit like Symes, he's trying to go to find Hollow Earth, and he's trying to set up this voyage. It costs £20,000 per person, and
what?
Yeah, I can't remember if it's a 3-month voyage or something, but they're going via Russia, and the first 2 days are sightseeing in and around Moscow. Yeah, no, well, they're going to Moscow and they're having 2 days of sightseeing before they set off. To go to the middle, to go to the centre of the earth. Yeah, of course. And he also said there's a fallback plan if they don't actually find one of these Symes holes, the front door to the Hollow Earth, because what they'll do is they'll go back via Siberia and look at all the bones from the animals that have come out of Hollow Earth that are dotted around all the Siberian islands. So it's not a wasted journey.
They basically have no intention of going to find Hollow Earth at all. They're just going, how can we get funding for a really long trip around the globe, just sightseeing and being tourists?
It's 1830 for nutters.
Yeah.
I mean, he actually he's wrote a book on it, and he claims that there are people living there, and he claims that there's Nazi refugees from World War II down there, the Greenland Vikings, who the lost Greenland Vikings, the lost tribes of Israel, and possibly the lost 2 Primarchs from the 40k Warhammer lore. I mean, I just genuinely don't know, but I don't know how Nazis and Vikings and the tribes of Israel are all going to get on and make a coherent society. You know?
I think really well, because like Vikings are blonde-haired and blue-eyed, aren't they? So they're like the perfect Aryan race.
Yeah, but Nazis and Israel...
No, they're over it, mate. They're absolutely over it. They don't even care anymore. They're just there with the dinosaurs. They got bigger fish to fry. That's the thing, right? So the neo-Nazis,
that's it.
They're there, or the Nazis and the Vikings and the Israeli immigrants. They have to be friends, because it's that, or you know,
fighting off dinosaurs, aren't you? And
lunch bait for T-Rex.
Yeah, that's it.
Take pick, really.
Yeah. So I mean, as well, Rodney is quoted as saying, obviously, there has to be some Inuits down there, because whenever they're asked where they come from, they will point north and say they were from the land where the sun never goes down.
Right.
I mean, I don't think Rodney's...
I don't think they were literal meaning that, really. Do you think they were just like in a kind of religious sort of sense, like where do you like hail from, like your bloodline, and they're like, oh, like our gods are from where the sun never goes down? I don't think they actually meant it literally.
In fairness, I don't think Rodney's been north of 84th Street in Manhattan for a long, long time, because the further north you get, in the summer especially, the less nighttime you get. Sure, in Iceland, don't you get 24 hours of sun at some point?
Yeah.
And don't Inuits
but
come
then you
from
get
like
darkness, don't you? Like it's like one half the year is light and then one half the year is dark, isn't it?
yeah, but they don't go.
So then the sun will go down.
Yeah, but then if the Inuits went, oh yeah, well we're from the land where the sun never rises, what's he gonna do? Go like demon.
No, then he would say, they're from Hades.
Yeah, but
This still proves my point. Hollow Earth is real.
does I suppose actually so we must be can't argue with that on that bombshell. I think Hollow Earth has just been proved there because Inuits come from where the sun either never sets or never rises.
Do you not think they literally could have said anything? Like they could have said, we come from the land where we eat jelly for breakfast, dinner and tea, and he'd be like, Hollow Earth. I know that place.
Yeah, I think he's just someone who's probably not been out of Mississippi all his life. And I mean, I don't want to get into any legal trouble here, but he just seems a bit blinkered in his views of other cultures and other people, and clearly doesn't understand how seasons work.
Clearly.
To be quite honest with you. And as well, gravity kind of disproves the fact that the Earth actually has substance in it, because the average density of the planet is 5.515 grams per centimetre cubed, and if there was a hollow Earth, it'd be half that, which is like what the rocks we have on the surface. So it's everything.
That'd
so
be
even though
dangerous to walk on.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, even though Newton started it, he kind of actually finished it, because like gravity is the reason why there's no fucking hollow Earth, because the Earth has a core.
I mean, so where does Hitler really live then?
I was going to say in hell then, but then you're going to say, it's below, innit?
Hades.
Below.
There we go.
Oh. Well, Hitler doesn't live. That is the point. He's in a hole.
No, he's not. He did.
Gone. There's nothing after life. It's all black,
He
dark.
didn't die. He faked his own death. Duh. He lives in Hollow Earth with the dinosaurs and Atlantis.
And the Hobbit. Oh, Atlantis. Don't get me started.
You're so easily triggered. It's weird.
I just don't like. I'm not going to say stupid people, but I don't like people who just won't look at all the facts. It's kind of mad that I'm married who I'm married, but...
And that you do the podcast with who you do the podcast with.
Yeah, I know. This is the thing. Look, this is my life. Exactly.
It's your choice.
God, is this what self-loathing is?
No, I think you're what my sister would call flypaper for freaks.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. I mean, it's... bad for me, right? I don't mind being a freak.
Well, yeah.
I've got my community behind me. They're okay. My people.
I'm sure they'll all be out the woodwork on this one. Jesus. I mean, there's not. To be fair, there's not that many of them that believe in Hollow Earth. There's, like I say, I couldn't find a forum. Like the Flat Earthers have got their own forum, and how hard is it to set up a forum on the internet?
Funny you say that, because that is what I'm going to do as soon as we start recording. Now that I know there's not a forum, fuck it, Reddit, I'm coming for you.
So that's the mad story of Hollow Earth, and how some people just really want to think that there's something below us. I can't even close on anything with it, because it's just all bullshit, and I can't believe there was so much to talk about it, that people believe this much. It's like, no, it's rock. And even boreholes, okay, they haven't got through the first crust with the drilling, and I think the deepest borehole is only like 12 kilometres deep, so it's not that deep, but you know, like
there's no opportunity for there to be a Hollow Earth. We haven't been able to drill down that far yet. Just saying. Is it though?
It's made of magma, liquid hot magma.
Have you ever been?
Well, to be honest with you, it's one of them. 100%, I cannot say that the Earth is not hollow because we don't
Exactly.
have
How do they know?
substantiated facts, but we have gravity, we have just common sense,
Pish.
and we have
Pish.
science. No, Earth's not hollow. Move on.
Fine, okay. Well,
Right, how did the Lees die?
well, because Bruce Lee was so amazing and everybody loved him and he had such a huge fan base, it's kind of understandable that when he died very young, he was only 32, that everybody just kind of went, something evil is afoot. And they didn't believe that he could have died of just natural causes. So
all the best people die in the 30s.
Isn't it 27? Isn't it the 27 curse? Like Kurt
I
Cobain.
thought it was 30.
Maybe it's just two causes.
Richard Beckinsale died when he was like 32. Bruce Lee died when he was 32. Like Jeebus died when he was 33. I mean, all the greats.
Well, Bruce Lee died age 32 and he was in Hong Kong and he was going over his latest movie and he went for dinner with one of his fellow actor friends and it was the 20th of July 1973. So he had dinner in this fancy restaurant with his mate and then they drove over to their colleague Betty Ting Pei's apartment. There's a bit of a
awesome pronunciation there, by the way.
Betty Ting Pei.
Yeah.
So, all right, what is it? Well, I like Betty Ting Pei. No, is that any better? No. You know what? Fuck it, I don't care. Right. So, some people said that she was his colleague. Some people said she was his mistress.
Oh, scandal!
Scandalous, I know. So anyway, they went over to her apartment and Bruce Lee said, I've got a banging headache. Have you got any like paracetamol or something? So
I can imagine him saying that, I can just see Bruce Lee going, I've got a banging one. Have you got any ibuprofen, love?
That's totally how it went down. That's what he said.
Yeah.
He said, I got a banging headache. Yeah. Anyway, so Betty Ting Pei, she gave him a painkiller called Equagesic, which apparently is a cross between an aspirin and a tranquilizer. And he went to have a nap in her apartment. So he went for a nap. And dinner kind of came and went and he still hadn't woken up. This was a few hours later. And she went in to check on him and she couldn't wake him up. And she really started panicking because she was like, I don't think he's breathing here. This is a bit... I don't want to be the person that's killed Bruce Lee because that's my career down the pan. Yeah. So they rang a doctor. The doctor tried to resuscitate him for 10 minutes. Didn't work. Called an ambulance. The ambulance took him all the way, like pretty much across the city to a completely different hospital that the doctor didn't even work at for some strange reason. Like, I don't know whether he didn't want his hospital to be tarnished with being the people that killed Bruce Lee. But they went to this completely different hospital and he was pronounced dead when he got there. So the autopsy report says that he, they love this one, don't they? Died by misadventure. They love that. They love that, I know. It's neither here nor there, is it?
It's such an ambiguous term. Yeah, it's just so...
It doesn't mean fuck all, really, does it?
Died by misadventure is like what David Carradine did. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like having a quick one with a rope around your neck, and that's misadventure.
Yes. The coroner may as well have said, I don't know.
No.
Do you know, it's like it doesn't mean anything. So it was labelled death by misadventure, and apparently it was a cerebral edema, which is swelling on the brain, brought on by an allergic reaction to Equagesic. So here we have the theories. So theory 1 is there was an allergic reaction to Equagesic, but Betty Ting Pei said he'd had them before and he'd never experienced any allergic reactions before. He also didn't have any other symptoms of an allergic reaction, like just lying down in bed and not waking up again ever I'm pretty sure there'd have been more side effects.
Yeah, I mean that is pretty much the it's like I'm not gonna say the computer game side effect, innit? The Polybius side effect. That it's like if you only have one side effect, you don't want to have that side effect. Kind of thing.
Certain side effects may be instant death. Yeah,
it's like no.
So that one was kind of a bit. Another theory is that apparently he ate hash. He used to chew it because he believed it expanded his consciousness. And there was actually hash found in his stomach on like the day that he died. So there's theories that maybe he was a drug addict and he had drug issues, or maybe he had some kind of reaction, like maybe it had addled his brain and he'd had a seizure and died that way. Not
that I'm an expert, but you need to get the THC to a certain temperature for it to start working.
Not that you're an expert.
No. This is what I've heard. So this is why like. Smoky. I know hash is not that I'm an expert, but I know hash is like the oil that's scraped off, so it's already been cooked, I suppose. So maybe okay, but not that I'm an expert. But I'd say if it was hash in the block form, then maybe you could eat it and have some kind of effects. But you certainly can't do that with.
But
weed,
it was presumed that he'd been eating it for years.
Why would it all of a sudden just have this mind-boggling, this aneurysm effect?
Yeah, so like either, I don't know, maybe it has like a cumulative bad effect on you. You don't like asbestos or something like that.
Do I need to be worried?
It doesn't really I'm not an expert. But... well, I mean, you breathe in asbestos, you breathe in asbestos and you don't die like straight away, do you? It takes like 40 years or something. So I don't know, maybe it wasn't that at all, which I don't think that one is why he died. So the next one we have is heat stroke. Obviously he was filming and it was in a hot location, and he was like, he used to move so fast that they had to ask him to slow down because the camera actually couldn't pick up his martial arts moves because he was just too quick. So I imagine he probably worked up a sweat, which would have been okay had he not had his sweat glands removed from under his arms.
Wait, what?
So he would early days he would be filming, and the director and the producer and what have you decided that sweaty pits was not a good look in a movie. It wasn't. It was just a bit minging. So he had his sweat glands removed from under his armpits. So he couldn't sweat. So, I mean, I guess getting hot would be really, really hot if you can't sweat.
I mean, what did he do? What did he have to like pant like a dog?
I don't know. I guess he just,
Who thought that surgery is a good idea, and what doctor performed it?
I did read when I used to watch the Brits back in the 90s that a lot of actresses used to have this injection in their armpits that used to stop them from sweating, so that they didn't go up and collect their awards with sweaty pits. So I think it's a cosmetic surgeon kind of. It's a Hollywood kind of deal.
Yeah. Wow, that's never knew you could do that. I thought.
Yeah, because I always thought it was a bit gross, because I was like, oh, imagine getting an injection in your armpit. That would really hurt.
And
it's that tender under there.
That makes no sense, because he's a martial arts actor. So surely, I mean, I suppose, okay, yeah. And I suppose really, if you look at it, they want to see the director or the audience don't want to see him exerting effort. So if he's sweating, maybe it exerts effort, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe it's like, oh, we just want to make it look like this is just
nothing for him.
Like he's not even putting. He's not even like he's pulling his punches proper. He's not even putting any effort.
Yeah, but fair enough. I didn't know that was a thing. I'll be honest.
Yeah, well, actually, he did. When he was recording previously, he was filming a previous movie, and this was when he'd had his sweat glands removed, and it was really, really hot, like unbearably hot, and he was in like the full like the morph suit kind of deal, like the yellow one. And he'd said that he had headaches and he was having seizures, and he actually collapsed. He fainted and he got taken to hospital, and they found that he had swelling on the brain, which they treated there and then, and he went back to filming and he was okay. But at the time, heat strokes weren't really understood. So whereas now we understand that on occasion a heat stroke, a really bad heat stroke, can cause a cerebral edema, that wasn't a thing back then. So it's kind of a bit unknown as to whether or not it was just another heat stroke, and it maybe was just too much for his heart and his brain or whatever, or maybe he did have some kind of brain issue or trauma or something that never really went away.
Condition. Yeah.
That he'd had for ages. It's just never gone. So that's kind of a bit, we don't know whether or not maybe he had a brain condition or whatever that went undiagnosed. So now we get into the good ones.
Oh, here we go. Right, tin hats, people, open your cans if you've got them.
So, Betty Ting-Pei. She was Taiwanese.
She sounds the right one, to be honest with you. The way you pronounce it, she does anyway.
I always think she sounds like the evil woman in Kill Bill.
She actually sounds like that pirate from Caribbeans. You know when they end up in the steam bath and it's that woman.
Yes.
That's what I think of anyway. In with the white face and
yes,
the geisha kind of thing. Anyway, sorry, yeah.
I mean, I've seen a picture of her. She doesn't look that much different, to be fair. So she does kind of have one of these faces that just looks a bit like, oh, I'm trouble, and you better believe it. But I mean, if she was his mistress, then yeah, she probably was trouble. But that's never been proved that she was his mistress. His wife certainly never said that she was or she wasn't. But anyway, Betty Ting-Pei was Taiwanese. Now, there's rumours from my community, but not my niche, not my actual, not the people in my inner circle. The weirdos in the outer circle.
Oh, yeah, them lot.
Them lot.
Yeah.
That she was an assassin.
Of course.
Sent to kill him, to poison him.
Yep.
By the triads.
Yep.
For one of two reasons. It varies depending on,
of course,
which source you look at. One was that the triads were fuming. They were like proper furious that he was teaching his martial arts skills to Westerners. Of all people, how dare you? Our sacred art, and you take it to those hicks.
Yeah.
And so they had him bumped off. Or he was making too much money, and he was making a bit more money than them, and they were just like, that's just not cricket. So they had him bumped off.
No. Not on either one.
I will say, for all, Betty Ting-Pei seems to just be a kind of situation of in the wrong place at the wrong time kind of deal. Her and Raymond Chow, who was, I think he was the director of the movie that Bruce Lee was working on, they both lied about finding Bruce Lee at her apartment.
Ooh.
They said that he wasn't there. So it only came out later that, no, he actually really was. Why did you lie? And so, yeah, by then, they were already busted. So why would you lie if you had nothing to cover up, firstly? Like, what's the point of lying? Why didn't you just say, like, well, the autopsy report's already been proved that he had a swelling on the brain, so that's not my fault, Or was it? Did she put something else in the equagesic? Or was it not equagesic that she gave him? Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. Yeah, I like that, but I'd like to think that if it was the triads and they were pissed off that he was teaching like martial arts to the Western world, that they'd kind of like get their own master in, and they'd have like a straightener, and it'd be like Kill Bill or something. And
there's another one.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. We did. Oh, yes.
Strap in. Come on.
Yeah. So, the Dimmack death touch. The thing that Uma Thurman does at the end of Kill Bill.
Yeah. He stopped the
some
heart.
people... Yeah. So, apparently, it's a kind of a bit of a Chinese legend. Nobody's really sure if it does really exist or not, or if it's just a tale. But there's one of the conspiracy theories is that he offended a Kung Fu master who gave him the death touch. Which I think, I mean, I know Kill Bill was like, 5 paces or something, which is a bit extreme. That's not really giving you enough time to get away from the person that you've just death touched. But I think the death touch is supposed to be 100 paces, which still isn't a lot.
No.
You know, I make more than 100 steps a day and I don't barely get off my arse. Yeah. And that's literally just going to the toilet. So I feel like Bruce Lee probably did a few more steps than I do.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about that one either. And why would that cause swelling on his brain?
Yeah. The thing was,
it's supposed to stop your heart.
He was actually legit a fucking legend. He was an honest to God like master.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was such a thing as a death touch, he would have known about it, and surely he would have.
And would he have stood there while they went?
Exactly, he wouldn't have let them get close enough to do that, because there was like I seen a documentary many years ago about it when he even before he started on TV and everything, and he was just in his local dojo, and he ruined 10 people all running at him, and he was like he was in the Matrix. He was honest to God a fucking legend. So
definitely,
surely he would have been like, I can't buy that kind of thing. And like you say, 100 paces. What's
not very
yeah.
much. He wouldn't have got to dinner and then to her apartment before conking out, would he, really?
Exactly, unless they carried him, I suppose. Like a piggyback, because then he's not pacing, is he? Like,
well, yeah, maybe.
You see, maybe they thought about this thing and went, shit, we need to get far away. Oh, you look tired, Bruce, jump on. I'll give you a piggyback.
So there's a guy on YouTube. I mean, do I even need to explain? Like, I don't need to say any more. I just say there's a guy on YouTube, and then you're just like, oh, you know the sort.
Yeah.
And he's got footage of the funeral, Bruce Lee's funeral, and it was an open casket kind of deal. And in the film footage, he's got like a close up of Bruce Lee in his coffin. And then he's got a picture that I think was in the paper the next day. And he's like putting the two side by side. And he's like, this is not even the same person. These are 2 different guys. Bruce Lee clearly faked his own death. This is not the same person. I watched the video and I looked at the picture and I was like, yeah, no, that looks like the exact same person to me. In fact, yes, everything. Down to even like the scar on his chin. No, everything. This is the same guy. You're looking into something that isn't there. But the people that do believe that he faked his own death love this so much. I wish it was true.
Oh.
I think that he faked his own death and went and joined the Hong Kong PD.
Yeah, because obviously being a film star, you just want to go, no, actually, I do want to fight crime in Hong Kong, of all places. I want
to fight crime for real.
I want to be. I do want to be Jackie Chan and Chris Rock.
Do you not think, like, if he did do that, like, he didn't even really need to be undercover about it. He could just go.
He could just
I
walk
want to
down
join
the
the
street.
Hong Kong. Yeah, like, can I just walk? Can I just walk into the police department and go, hey, can I join up? And they'd be like, yeah. Yes, you can. And their fucking crime rate would have gone well down because the criminals would have been like, fuck that,
yeah,
I'm not robbing that bank.
Yeah.
Fucking Bruce Lee's on the squad now, mate. I got any chance.
So just imagine seeing fucking Bruce Lee in a blue uniform walking back. You'd like go, right, we need to get out of here right now because we're going to die. Oh.
You just, like, the crime would just go so far down, it would be unreal. So I'm not right on board with that one either.
Exactly. And then, so he did that, and then what were the crime rates after Bruce Lee joined the police force? Because they would have gone down because he would be fucking everyone up. And no, it probably stayed constant.
Yeah, exactly. So it's another one of those. Yeah, they're looking for stuff that isn't there. And Jackie Chan was interviewed about it, and he was just like shaking his head, and he was like, he died of natural causes. What conspiracy are you talking about? And like the interviewer was like, the conspiracies, that he faked his own death, or that there's a curse on the family. And Jackie Chan was like, you Westerners, you like come up with some crap. Like everybody in China knows he just died of natural causes. So Jackie Chan doesn't believe it. Chuck Norris, who apparently was really good friends with him, thinks that he had an allergic reaction to an antibiotic he was given to relieve a headache on the day. Oh, why you would give somebody an antibiotic to relieve a headache? That doesn't make a lot of sense. But again, there's no proof for that. And Bruce Lee's family, his daughter, believes that he died of natural causes as well. And the only reason that the curse, the Lee family curse, even came to fruition is because of what happened to Brandon Lee, his son. So Brandon died when he was 28. He was mid-filming The Crow, which is an awesome film.
Yeah.
Love it so much. And this was 31st of March, 1993. And in one of the scenes, his character is shot and killed. So when they're doing close-up scenes of a gun firing, they use dummy bullets so that it looks like real bullets. And then when they do like the distance scene where the character's getting shot, they take the dummy bullets out of the prop gun, they load it with like a live charge and powder so that it makes the blast, and then the actor activates a squib, which squirts fake blood everywhere, makes it look like they've been shot. On this occasion, they'd filmed the close-up scene with the dummy bullet, and they didn't realise, but the tip of the bullet had actually got lodged in the gun. So when they then took the rest of the dummy bullets out and put the live charge and the powder in, it basically acted like a real gun. It blew the bullet, the dummy bullet out, and it hit him in the stomach, and he bled to death. And everyone actually thought that he was faking, because like the director was a bit pissed off, because in the scene he was supposed to get shot and he was supposed to fall forwards, but he fell backwards. And then when the director was like, cut, and he didn't get up, and everyone was like, oh, Brandon, you joker. Brandon, come on, get up, come on, there's sandwiches on the way. Brandon,
craft table, come on.
Brandon, stop asking around. Brandon, get up. Okay, there's something really not right here. And then they were like, oh, okay, he's not looking good. They took him to hospital, and he went through 6 hours of surgery, and then unfortunately he died in hospital. So that, on the face of it, just seemed like an unfortunate accident, but as well as the fact that he actually worked in really, really abysmal conditions. He was filming pretty much always at night. He would like start filming at 4:00 in the afternoon, and he would film all the way through the night, and then like get to bed early hours of the morning. He was always filming in the pouring rain, or like either the water machines to make it look like it was raining, and he was always like half dressed, so he was freezing, he was soaked through. He lost 20 pounds when he was recording because he was just so exhausted, and his manager actually rang the production team, and she was like, you're killing Brandon, you need to change your methods here. And they didn't.
Yeah, it is a bleak film, isn't it? Really? I mean, it's very dark. So,
however,
I can't believe they kind of pushed that.
Well, given who he was as well, I know.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember the controversy when Bruce Lee was when he died? Oh, let's be a bit more careful with his son, shall we?
Fuck up his son, yeah.
But but the only thing, and for me, like, I was like, oh yeah, that it is just an unfortunate accident. Apparently, the whole set was a shambles. Like, there was people falling through bloody floorboards and all sorts. It was tons of accidents. It was like a health and safety manager's worst nightmare. But the only thing for me was that the guy who had loaded the prop gun, he went out at the start of that day, and he went to buy dummy bullets, and for some strange reason not only did he buy dummy bullets, he bought real bullets. Why?
Why?
You're working on a film crew, and
you're a prop manager.
And I imagine those are pretty easy to get mixed up, right?
Yeah,
so
I mean,
there's kind of like this conspiracy theory that maybe it wasn't a dummy bullet and maybe somebody mixed up the bullets, or maybe it was deliberate because, yeah, you're a prop manager. What are you doing buying live rounds? Why? What purpose? Unless it's for your own gun and you're just like stealing off the company budget. I don't know.
Yeah.
So some people are like,
you're going hunting at the weekend and you want to kill two birds with one stone, and
it could
like,
be claiming on the cruise expenses.
You're going on a run to the bullet shop, so just one receipt, it'll be fine.
Exactly.
Don't worry about it.
But it does seem a bit odd. So unless it was just an innocent kind of, I'm just putting this on the expenses because, perks of the job, innit? Or whether there was something more to it. But I don't really think that Brandon Lee had any enemies, or he wasn't a bad guy. And he wasn't even really that famous, so it's not like
he wasn't. I think he was just starting out. Like The Crow was kind of the first. I think he'd been in stuff beforehand, and I think The Crow was his first feature. And he wasn't anyone. I don't even think he was a horrible person.
No.
You know what I mean? So he wasn't like someone that's like you could go, oh, this guy, he's a dick, can't work with him.
He was just an ordinary guy, so it's not like anybody really could have a vendetta. I mean, I know you don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but like nobody had a vendetta against him, so nobody really had a motive to kill him. So I kind of do feel like it was just it was an accident. It was just an unfortunate accident. But there is always that little bit of seed of doubt about like, you're a prop guy, what are you doing?
Yeah, of course. And I mean, as well, when I didn't realize he got shot in the stomach. I thought he was shot in the face.
No, it was just above his belly button.
So for me, that could be a point of contention because although being shot in the stomach is kind of painful, it does take a long time to bleed to death because there's no major arteries there. So, okay, you may, unless if it goes straight through or it gets lodged in there, it's not going to hit your liver or anything like that.
It didn't go straight through because he was lying on the floor and he was like unconscious, but he was breathing, but his pulse was just really, really, really slow. And they couldn't see any blood, so they were like, he hasn't been shot for real because there's no blood. But it was because it was like leaking out when he was on his back. It was leaking out through his like stomach into his like costume, so they couldn't see. Yeah. So like you say, it didn't go through. So like you say, it does take a long time.
I think that's just more them with what you said about how the shooting was and how the stage was and everything like that and how laughable they treated him. I think that was just more they didn't act as quick as they should have done, and they just thought, oh, he's having a laugh, we'll just leave it, and they lost precious minutes. I'm going to say minutes because I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but I think an hour may be good enough there. But they lost precious time to rather than getting into hospital straight away because it's not a fatal shot if you get shot in the stomach.
That's what I don't understand. Why did it knock him unconscious though? Do you know what I mean? Like
it could have been because they'd worked him so hard. Do you know? I mean, I obviously I don't know. I'm not a doctor, as we all know. I try to pass myself off as one every now and then, but
no one believes you're a gynecologist.
They never buy it. Yeah,
get over it.
No, I know. They know. I'm banned from 2 hospitals now. But yeah, I think I don't know. Maybe. I honestly don't know.
I can understand if it killed him outright. Like maybe it's because he was in such a bad way, like from being exhausted and stuff. When the shock maybe stopped his heart, but he was still breathing. He just went unconscious, and it's like I've never been shot in the stomach, so I don't really know how it feels. But like from watching things on TV, like even documentaries and stuff, people generally, when they get shot in the stomach, they kind of just go and they kind of double over, and it takes a while for them to even realise that they've even been shot in the stomach, because they've just got this shock on their face. But they don't just crumple to the ground and die. That's not...
No. It is a strange one. Brandon certainly is strange. I think it's more mismanagement with him rather than getting him, overworking him, putting him through so much. If he's lost 20 pounds, do you know what I mean? Maybe he's not... I don't want to say not strong, but maybe he's weak.
Probably, yeah.
Not physically weak, but fatigued. And if you get that kind of shock, then maybe you are just going to go, you know what, I'm just going to have a nap. Fuck it. Just have a lie down. I'm on the floor anyway.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure that's
kind of
what
thing.
he was thinking as he was lying there. Like, I'm here anyway. I may as well just have a nap.
Just have a nap now. Hopefully I don't stop breathing, but I'll leave me out of my life in these people's hands. And it
wrong
didn't
hands,
work out
yeah.
well for him. Yeah, it didn't work out well for him. I think that's definitely mismanagement.
And it's a shame
by
because he was
them.
a really cool guy.
No, yeah, definitely. And that look inspired Sting. The wrestler, not of the police, obviously.
That's what I was thinking. What? I don't know.
Roxanne! Did you not see his ghoul makeup when he sang that at Wembley?
I just had like a picture of Sting dressed as Gene Simmons, and it was like, I don't think I've seen that music video.
It was an awesome gig, that. Oh, God.
But yes, the wrestler.
Sting the wrestler.
Yes,
the wrestler.
Okay, now I get it.
When he kind of went heel and it was all dark and stuff. But yeah, I think I think it's just
definitely
mismanagement.
But it was a damn shame for both
Bruce.
of them.
Oh yeah, without like you say, 28
and 32.
28 and 32. It's like they had so much more. I mean, then Brandon must have been the toddler when Bruce went.
Yeah, I think his dad used to train him when he was like 5 or something. Apparently, when he was 6 years old, he could smash a plank of wood in two with one kick. But he I think he just lived in his dad's shadow all his life, and he moved away from action movies because he didn't want to be just linked to his dad all the time. He actually got asked if he would play his dad in a movie about his dad's life, and he was like, no, that would just be weird, playing my dad. And then like at the same time, he would have to fall in love with a girl who was pretending to be his mom. So
wow, okay, yeah, that went dark.
I can
quick.
see why he would just be like, it's not me.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
move on from this.
So yeah, I think he was just always in his dad's shadow, and he wanted to try something different, and he really wanted to make it like his own, and he wanted to make it big and make it count, and it was really unfortunate.
I think that may have been why he stuck with it, like even though they were pushing him so hard, because it was so different from anything that Bruce had done, and it wasn't an action film; it was a dark noir thing. It was gritty, and everything that Bruce did. Okay, it was martial arts, but it was pure. He was fighting for right and reason, you know. So I think maybe that's why he kept doing The Crow and kept with it rather than flagging up to his management people that you know what they're doing to me. They're doing this, that, and the other.
Yeah,
and
it clearly meant a lot to him, and it would have made such a massive influence on his career going forward as well. So I guess he just thought, I'll just stick it out, and then it'll be worth it in the long run. And they hadn't even recorded that much of the movie either, so they had to rewrite the whole script and get a stuntman in who looked a little bit like him and do the rest of the film in CGI. So half of the movie isn't even Brandon.
Shame.
Massive shame. But his sister is 100% convinced there's no family curse, there's nothing untoward with any of their deaths. It was just shit.
But that's it. I mean, like, do you know what I mean? A family curse, it kind of affects more than two people.
Yeah.
Do you know? it'd go back like generations and forward generations. So
it's just the two of them, and they didn't even die in the same way. So
completely different ways, and not related. So no, I just think they're both unfortunate accidents. I mean, I wouldn't say it's natural causes on Bruce Lee's part because he was only 32, but he was. Again, he pushed himself a lot, but
with no sweat glands.
I just think, that's weird.
Yeah.
Just imagine like panting next to you like that. What's wrong with you, man?
You're not even breaking a sweat. Okay, don't joke me.
Yeah. That's why.
Like the rest of the people must have been like, "You're just doing this on purpose. You're just trying to make me feel bad because I'm sweating like a pig here. I'm in a proper state. My hair's plastered to my head with sweat. There's not a bead of sweat on you anywhere. Your skin isn't even slightly oily."
Imagine when he's fighting Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and he's pissing sweat, big Kareem, 7 foot lad, and Bruce is like, not even a drip on him. I bet he was like, "You are taking the piss, man."
Yeah, he was probably doing that. Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? So yeah, those are conspiracies, but not, I don't think.
Yeah, I think we've debunked both of them this week. I don't think either of them have got a leg to stand on.
No, and you know what, Netflix? Why don't you just credit us next time? So, because we know that we're going to be seeing something like this on your streaming channels. So,
and for all you people out there who have Google alerts of the MO podcast, stop it, right? Or credit us at least.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. Every time I turn the news on, it's something we've covered.
I know, right?
And something we've said, and just not with our voices. I tell you.
Shocking.
I'm getting sick of it.
It's keeping us up at night.
But anyway. Yeah.
Sometimes.
But anyway. So, next week, what will we be talking about? We will be talking about cryptids, urban legends, and folklore.
Yeah, boy.
So, do you have anything?
I am going to be talking about Mothman.
Ooh. So, yeah, the Mothman. I'm going to be talking about the slit-mouthed woman, or
Excuse me?
The Kuchi Isaka Onna.
Oh, okay.
Which is a Japanese urban legend, folkloric character.
Well, she sounds significantly terrifying.
She is quite terrifying, to be honest with you. And I found out about her quite recently, I'd say in the past couple of years, and she's horrific.
Colour me intrigued.
Indeed. So thank you all for joining us, and we shall speak to you.
Speak at you.
Yeah, speak at you, pretty much. Yeah, next week. But this has been the MO podcast, as always, with me, Consummation Ant.
And me, Atreya.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we shall see you next time.
The MO podcast. The MO podcast. The MO podcast. The MO podcast.